I greet the valuable organizers, speakers, and participants of the Copper Conference, which brings the copper industry and the academic world together and shapes the copper future vision of Turkey and the world. In my presentation, I will give a brief introduction of our association and then evaluate the world copper trade, going into details for the copper industry in Turkey in the context of green transformation. I will share information and my foresight about possible effects of the economy turning green on the copper sector, emphasizing opportunities the European Green Deal creates for the sector in our country. And I will conclude my presentation with the steps that can be taken to maintain our competitiveness in exports. Istanbul Mineral and Metals Exporters Association, in short İMMİB, is a big family setting shoulder to the exporters to reach across the world. Our main task is bringing together the Turkish exporters and international buyers, both in conventional settings and via digital tools. There are 14 General Secretariats of Exporters Associations in Turkey, and İMMİB is the biggest one among these General Secretariats. These organizations are under the umbrella of Republic of Turkey, Ministry of Trade, and Turkish Exporters Assembly. Exporting companies should have membership to these associations by regulation in Turkey. İMMİB incorporates 6 sub-associations within its body, and each of the sub-associations covers particular sectors. As the logos of the sub-associations can be seen in the visual, İMMİB represents 6 big exporter industries in Turkey, which are chemicals, steel, ferrous and non-ferrous metals, electronics, minerals, and jewelry. İMMİB has almost 43,000 member companies producing and exporting in these associations. The total export value of the 6 sectors represented by İMMİB constitutes 39% of Turkey's total merchandise exports. In this slide, I summarize what we do by topics. We organize national participations to international and national fairs and exhibitions and B2B meetings. We perform market research activities. We lead several projects including the EU-funded ones, clustering projects and design projects in order to leverage the international competitiveness of our sectors. We support the exporters by educational activities via İMMİB Academy and besides many sector-based seminars, trainings and workshops. İMMİB is one of the associations under the roof of İMMİB General Secretariat. I mentioned the industry covered by İMMİB as ferrous and non-ferrous metals in the previous slides. Here are the more detailed list of goods exported by İMMİB members. Those are aluminium, casting, copper, construction materials, kitchen and household utensils, hardware metal packaging, and welding materials. Turkish copper is the headline for the exporters and manufacturers of these products. These are copper bars and profiles, copper wire, copper stranded wire, copper plates, sheets, and strip and other copper products. The world's biggest copper exporters are listed in the table. Top 10 exporters realize 52% of the total exports on the planet. In 2020, Chile is the country that exports the most with a share of 10.4% and $15 billion. Is followed by Germany, Japan, and Congo. Turkey ranks 21st in copper exports. Top 10 importers have 64% of all imports in the world. In 2020, China is the country that imports the most with a share of 31% and $48 billion. Is followed by Germany, USA, and Italy. Turkey ranks 26th in copper imports. In this slide, you will see that the Turkish copper industry exported $1.4 billion in 2020 and reached $2.25 billion in 2021 with a growth rate of 63%. Italy has a share of 18% in Turkey's copper exports with a value of $410 million. Bulgaria ranks next with $214 million and Germany $108 million. The first 10 countries have 65% of our copper exports. In this slide, you will see export numbers for several industries. Copper sector is providing input for these listed industries. These sectors' numbers are pretty huge. So we prepare a study to measure the indirect copper export in these sectors. In other words, we try to find out how much copper used in these sectors and exported in it. Apart from the $2.2 billion of direct export, copper sector exports $2.6 billion of copper products such as copper wire, sheets, bars, etc. in these sectors. The green economy, the green transformation, which we speak of today, is actually the result of a series of negotiations and agreements that have been going on for years. UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, Kyoto Protocol, Millennium Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals, Paris Agreement laid the stones of green economy. With the European Green Consensus announced in December 2019, the European Union announced green transformation as an economic growth strategy. The return of the USA to the Paris Agreement with Biden, the increase of the carbon reduction commitments of the countries in the fight against climate, the announcement of the Fit for 55 package by Europe, the wide participation to the 26th conference of the parties increased the impact and acceleration of the green transformation in all areas. Green transformation technologies are expanding the use of copper. Electric networks, electric vehicles, solar panels, concentrated solar energy technologies require high copper usage. Green transformation creates opportunities for the copper industry. The International Energy Agency states that the green energy transition will expand the usage areas of critical minerals and increase their demand. Solar panels, concentrated solar energy, electricity grids, electric vehicles are among the factors that increase the use of copper. Electricity grids are expected to expand to meet the targets set under the Paris Agreement. That's why annual demand for copper, which is used in cables, wires, and some transformers, is predicted to double by 2040. Copper is preferred in electrical networks due to its high electrical and thermal conductivity. One of the most important green transition elements is electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are critical in green transformation because electric vehicles are 2 to 4 times more efficient than conventional internal combustion engine models. On top of that, it also reduces dependence on petroleum-based fuels with high emissions. The graph on the left of the screen compares the emissions over the life cycle of a medium-sized electric vehicle and a conventional petrol car. The lifetime carbon emissions of electric vehicles are almost half that of a conventional car. Currently, the electric vehicle market is growing. This growth is gaining momentum with the green transformation. The number of electric vehicles, which was 17,000 in 2010, exceeded 10 million in 2020. In the graph on the right, the green part in the columns shows the number of electric vehicles in China. China is the first with 4.5 million electric vehicles. Europe follows with 3.2 million. If action is taken in line with Sustainable Development Goals, the number of electric vehicles will increase 230 million by the year 2030. In this trend, Turkey's Automobile Initiative Group (TOG) has started work on the first domestic automobile, the development process of which will begin in 2022. The battery of the vehicle will be produced locally and nationally by TOG in Turkey, and it is planned to produce 175,000 units per year in 5 models. As I said before, copper is an essential component in engines, wiring, radiators, connectors, brakes, and bearings used in cars and trucks. The average car contains 1.5 kilometers of copper wire, and the total amount of copper wire varies from 20 kilograms in small cars to 45 kilograms in luxury and hybrid vehicles. Electric vehicles will account for 40% of the total growth in copper demand in 2030. While 5.1 million electric vehicles are expected to be sold in this year, this figure will increase to 31.5 million in 2030, and approximately 30 million electric vehicle charging units will be installed. Thus, the copper demand from the electric vehicle sector will increase by 2.4 million tons by 2030. This indicated that both globally and locally, Turkish copper sector will increase its capacity. I mentioned the copper usage trends, but I need to address why Turkey can be a good partner for industries in need of copper. Turkish manufacturers are flexible in production. Their products are in high standards, and most important of all, they are in compliance with the EU standards. Besides product quality and compliance, Turkish exporters' strengths are logistics, finance opportunities, reliability, and easy to communicate. In this context, we have created turkishcopper365.com. It is a B2B platform open to users from all over the world for free. This platform enables the connection between reliable Turkish copper producers with copper users. In this slide, we listed all our events during this year. Copper-related ones are highlighted as you see. We will be glad to meet you both at these physical events and our digital marketplace. Thank you very much for listening.